this nutrition book. What these big companies do, and these big companies, they hyper-process our foods. They mince the chicken almost, it's like gum, and then they make it look like chicken again. And they add extra salt and extra sugar. And what they're doing is they make us eat mindlessly. Doesn't that scare you? And this extra salt and this extra sugar, it like stimulates your taste buds. So you want more and you eat faster. So you're eating, and it's not to nourish yourself at that point. It has nothing to do with nutrition. It's the craziest thing. Okay, now, this is where we don't have to worry about letting it sit. Oh, it sat there plenty. Okay? We're going to add our white flour. Yours isn't going to be the same amounts. Okay, so that's just, now keep in mind, that's just holding in that nice heat, which is softening our yeast and melting our butter and all of that, okay? So we're there. Now, we're going to move on to, I need my 4 eggs. Your bread recipes, this is another fun thing. Hang on. Your bread recipes are going to tell you to beat your eggs, lightly beaten eggs. That makes no sense. When you're cooking at home, you've got to clean up after yourself. So if you're dirtying extra dishes, it's just more work, and there's absolutely no point. But you got to be careful that you don't add your eggs while this is too hot. You don't want to cook your eggs in here. Am I making sense? Okay. So another fun fact, and I learned this from Alton Brown. When you, I love Alton Brown. It's fascinating. I could just watch them all day. When you crack your egg, a lot of you have been taught that you have to crack your egg into a bowl in case you get any shells, or in case it's bad. I go through eggs so fast. I don't crack my eggs into a bowl. I just plain go. The secret is, if I crack this egg on this edge, it sends the shards, the eggshell, into the egg. Watch this, okay? I'm checking my temp to make sure I'm not going to cook my eggs. Okay. Do it on a flat surface. Just open her out, okay? Simple thing.
Well, I'd be sure to get chilling.
Well,
It would be down at my elbows.
yeah, well, I crack a lot of eggs, of course, today. Anyway, so there we've got it in there. We're going to go ahead and add our, look at our yeast. It's foaming. It's alive. Isn't that cool? It's foamy. Look at it. You see how lovely and foamy it is? That's a good live yeast. Okay, so just pour that in there. Slide her in. And I tend to add a little extra yeast to my bread. I like the yeast in bread. I think it's a beautiful thing. Okay, so far we have our yeast and water. That's already in there. We got our hot water, our honey, our salt. We got our butter in there. We've got our eggs. We've got our cracked wheat, and we've got our white flour. Now it's time for wheat flour, okay? And that's just, now's where you start to eyeball it. I'm not really, there are cooks that make bread that swear that you have to measure everything by weight. It's like my sister-in-law. You know what? Your sister-in-law can't make bread like I can. And
She's the one that wanted your recipe.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Bread, once again, it is a recipe, but it's an art. And you're going to see it in just a moment here. Go ahead and come on over here and look. What we've got going on here is it's starting to form a dough. It's not at the ball point yet. Now, yeah, this is where you can. Okay, but here's the thing. You can't muck it up. If you add too much flour, you think, that looks too stiff on the hook. That's why God made olive oil. Okay? That is, I'm not kidding you.
It doesn't go in first.
You don't have to, no, this recipe doesn't call for olive oil. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. I can tell by looking at this that this needs a little more flour. We're not making a quick bread here if this is not a batter. This is a bread dough, okay? So, a little more flour. Now you notice I don't measure it, okay? Well, and because when you see what I'm talking about, less flour is better in bread, okay? Less flour is always better. If your bread is too heavy in the flour, you won't get that beautiful crown. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, if your bread is flat and heavy, you can still eat it. It will still nourish you. It'll still be delicious. But
the kids don't want it.
you're right, but most kids like a lighter, fluffier bread. This is a very good, oh, there we go, we're perfect. Now I want you to look at this dance. This, what you have to think of, when you look at this, look at it on the hook. It's like a middle-aged woman in knit pants. You know, cats fighting in a bag. That's what this is going on right here. Yes, it's cats fighting in a bag. And I want you to literally take a moment and picture what it's doing. Okay? It's
Will it straighten out?
well, no. What do you mean straighten out?
No, I mean get the kind of consistency that's lumping now.
Oh no, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous.
Oh,
Yeah.
I shouldn't worry.
Look how loose it is on that hook. Watch the movement.
My bread hook is hard plastic. Is that going to break it?
No, it won't break it. But if you get this too heavy and it's climbing up your hook, and you're going to feel this in a minute, if it feels too heavy, you can add some melted butter, you can add some water, you can add some olive oil. It does not matter. It's all good. You can't screw it up, okay? Now, I'm going to get some bread rising here. Now, at home, for years, I had I had made my bread bowl. It was my favorite bread and rising bowl. And I used it every day. I made bread twice a day at my husband's grandmother's. My grandmother always put her bread in the rising bowl on her refrigerator. My grandmother made it all by hand. You can do it. It's not that hard to do. Now, keep in mind, when I put my flour down on my counter for my bread, any bread you throw down, any flour you throw down, it's going to end up in your bread. Think about it. So, your keyhole. Okay. Your key is going to be just a dusting of flour if you do it on your counter. If you do it in a bowl, what I did for years, if I would see, look how that hook comes out, pretty clean, right? Pretty much cleans off the side of my bowl. When you watch how this comes out of the bowl, and then you're going to feel it. I know. I'm a bruise.
So, it's got to weigh 25 pounds.
I don't know. I just, you know, when people said, how many loaves of bread do you make in a day? I don't think about it. Anyway, now, I want you to, here, let's get a little flour on the counter. What you're going to do is just touch your hand in here and then stick your finger in there and pull it out. See, just do this. And then stick it in and pull it out. It's a little tacky. I've got a little bread here, but it's not too much. Stick it in there. I want you to feel it. And feel the pull that you're getting out of it, okay? You see how it kind of pulls back? Here, I gotta check my time.
I would add more flour to the point if you go.
And if you add more flour, you ruin your bread.
I would add hockey pucks.
That's why. You're adding more flour at this point. You see how loose that is? Wait till you feel that in a few minutes. Get over there and feel it. Y'all just wash your hands. It's all good. Now, if you're doing like a milk bread, your milk bread is going to be even softer, even tackier.